It started as the most boring of errands. Phil was in the shower, music thudding faintly through the wall, when he shouted over the water, "Babe, can you answer that?" It's probably the delivery guy. His phone buzzed again on the coffee table. I grabbed it, half focusing on the laptop balanced on my knees. We'd been waiting all morning for a grocery delivery, and I was hungry enough to chew on the couch cushion. I swiped, entered his passcode automatically. He'd given it to me ages ago, in one of those "look, I have nothing to hide" gestures, and tapped open the notification. It wasn't the delivery app. A new message from Iron Pack Wolf Face sat at the top of his screen, the preview showing nothing but a string of laughing emojis and a blurry thumbnail. Phil's gym brothers. The guys he deadlifted with at ungodly hours, grunted and high-fived with, texted about macros and PIS. Normally, their chat would have been the last thing I cared about. I meant to just back out of the app, maybe shoot the grocery people a separate text from my own phone. But my thumb slipped. The chat opened. I could have closed it. I should have. But the screen was right there, bright and crowded with messages, and my eyes snagged on the most recent photo. 5 men, Phil and 4 others I recognized from stories, were standing shoulder to shoulder in what looked like a cabin living room. Wood-paneled walls, stone fireplace, beer bottles on the mantel. They were smiling. That part was normal. The rest was not. Every one of them was in lingerie. Phil was front and center in a soft lavender bralette and matching high-waisted panties, sheer panels catching the light. On his feet, God, I could barely process it, were fuzzy white slippers with little ears. Next to him, Marcus, the tattooed one, wore a black lace chemise that fell mid-thigh, muscles straining under delicate straps. Jamal had on a wine-red slip, his dark skin glowing against the fabric. 2 of the others sported floral nighties. I blinked, heart stuttering. Below the photo, Andre had typed, "Find you a crew that hypes your thighs like this." Phil had responded with, "Best gals weekend ever. Wouldn't trade y'all for anything." Another image sat just above it, Phil on a worn leather sofa, legs tucked under him, resting his head on Jamal's lap. Jamal's fingers were threaded through Phil's hair. Marcus sprawled on the floor nearby, his head leaning against Phil's shins. There was nothing overtly sexual, but the intimacy was unmistakable. My chest tightened. This wasn't just locker room joking or a dare gone too far. The caption confirmed it. "Family photo don't post or I'll murder you," Phil had written, followed by a string of heart emojis in different colors. I scrolled up, pulled deeper into a world I hadn't known existed, even though it had been in Phil's pocket this whole time. Videos from their last cabin bulk weekend, which I'd thought involved grilling and hikes. In one, they clinked wine glasses in robes and satin nightgowns, someone off-camera singing badly. In another, they were dancing in the tiny kitchen, hips swaying, skirts flaring, cheeks flushed. Comments dotted between the media, "Miss my girls already." "Next time I'm bringing the red set, Phil you're gonna die." "Jamal your ass in that bodysuit saved my will to live." It felt like reading someone's journal. Someone I was supposed to know better than anyone else. "Babe, you see the notification?" Phil called from the bathroom over the muffled hiss of the shower. Yeah, I called back. It was just the guys. My voice sounded too high in my own ears, like I'd inhaled helium. I set the phone down carefully, like it was made of glass and could cut me if I moved too fast. I loved Phil. That love hadn't evaporated in the last 30 seconds. But it had collided with something sharp and unfamiliar. He came out of the bathroom wrapped in a towel, hair damp, skin flushed from the heat. He smiled when he saw me, the easy, open grin I'd fallen for a year and a half ago. "Everything good?" he asked, scrubbing his hair with another towel. I watched him, my mind flicking between the image in front of me and the one in my head, Phil in lavender lace, laughing with his head tilted back, surrounded by his iron pack. "Yeah," I said slowly. "Actually, no. Not really." His smile faded. "What's wrong?" "I saw your group chat," I said. His hand, still buried in his hair, stopped moving. A droplet of water slid down his temple, disappeared into the shadow of his jaw. "What?" he said carefully. "The guys texted," I said. "Your phone buzzed." I opened it because I thought it was the delivery app. And my thumb hit the chat. I saw the photos, Phil. He went very, very still. "The ones from the cabin," I added, in case he thought I meant something else. "The lingerie." "The captions." He swallowed. "Okay," he said, voice low. "Okay. Give me a second." He disappeared back into the bathroom. The door closed with a soft click. I sat there, heart punching against my ribs, listening to the faint rustle of fabric as he got dressed. When he came back out, he was in sweatpants and a t-shirt, hair half-dried, expression guarded in a way I'd never seen on him. He sat on the edge of the armchair, not next to me on the couch like usual. "How much did you see?" he asked. "I saw enough to know this isn't just some joke," I said. "The outfits, the way you guys talk." "Phil, what is this? Who are you in that cabin?" He stared at his hands. "It's complicated." "I swear, if you say I can explain it's complicated," he repeated, looking up. His eyes were already shiny. That unnerved me more than anything. Phil was usually all easy jokes and dad-level puns. This stripped-back seriousness felt like being in a room with a stranger who wore his face. "Then you complicate it," I said. My voice shook. "Because right now all I can see is you in lace with your friends, and me completely shut out." He flinched like I'd thrown something. "Layla," he said quietly, "it's not about shutting you out. He took a breath, exhaled shakily. "They are my people," he said. "My safe place." "So I'm not that?" I asked before I could stop myself. "You are," he said quickly. "In most ways. This is just something I've never known how to bring to you. Or to anyone, really. Except them." "What is this?" I pressed. Are you gay?" "Why? Is this some kind of group sex thing?" "No," he said, then hesitated. "I mean, I don't think I'm gay. I don't label it much. And it's not some orgy, Layla. We're not. Nobody's doing anything you'd see on a porn site." The slight, right twist of his mouth almost made me want to laugh and cry at the same time. "But you're cuddling. Kissing, maybe?" I said. "The captions. Best gals weekend ever, wouldn't trade y'all for anything. That's not just about spotting each other on the bench press." He sighed. "We're affectionate," he admitted. "Sometimes we cuddle. We've kissed, yeah. It's safe. With them." We started the group because we were all dealing with different stuff, body image, family expectations, some gender stuff, some sexuality stuff. The gym was how we met, but the cabin trips are where we breathe. My eyes stung. "And you never thought to tell me any of this?" "I wanted to," he said, voice cracking. "I almost did, 100 times. But it felt weird to just blurt out, 'Hey, babe, by the way, sometimes I wear a bra and drink wine with my best friends in the woods.' That would have been a hell of a conversation starter," I muttered. We both laughed, brittle and short. The sound evaporated fast. "Look," he said. We started dressing up as a joke the first time. Somebody brought a bag of old clothes from a thrift store. We dared each other, you know. But then, it felt good. Not because I want to be a woman or something. Just because it let me be soft. Silly. Not the tough guy everyone at the gym sees. And the others felt that too. It became our thing. Our little, queer-adjacent, gender-bendy support group. He rubbed the back of his neck. "We know people wouldn't get it. That's why the chat's private. Why we don't post anything. It's not about hiding from you. It's about keeping something fragile from being kicked to pieces. And I'm what, the boot? I asked, sharper than I meant. No, he said. You're the person whose opinion matters the most. That's what scared me. I let that sink in. Fear of my reaction had been strong enough to wall off an entire part of his life. Do the other's partners know? I asked. Marcus is single, he said. Jamal's divorce is complicated. Andre's wife knows some. Eli's girlfriend thinks the cabin trips are just normal guy time. It's a mess. So I'm not the only one in the dark, I said dully. He flinched. No, but I don't want you to stay there. We sat in silence, the kind that isn't empty but bloated with everything you're not saying. I feel like I've been dating half of you, I said finally. The gym half. The boyfriend half. Not the satin robe half. He huffed out a laugh that turned into a choked sound. That's accurate. Then I want to meet the rest, I said. All of it. All of you. His head snapped up. What? I want to talk to them, I said. This iron pack. In person. Not through a chat you keep turning your screen away from. If this group is such a big part of your life, I need to understand what it is. Who you are with them. Otherwise, I'll be stuck imagining the worst. He stared at me, stunned. You want to meet them? After seeing those pictures? Yes, I said. And if your answer is no, that tells me something too. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. Okay, he said. I'll ask them. The following Saturday evening, our living room felt like a stage. I rearranged the furniture twice before they arrived, then forced myself to stop when I realized I was basically set dressing my own emotional breakdown. The big grey couch faced the armchair. A couple of floor cushions filled the gap. The coffee table held nothing but a pitcher of water and some glasses, because the thought of trying to make snacks for this made me want to scream. A knock sounded. My heart leaped. You ready? Phil asked. No, I said honestly. But let's do it anyway. He opened the door. One by one, they shuffled in. I recognized them from the photos and the one time I'd dropped off protein bars at the gym. Marcus first, tall, muscular, shaved head, tattoos peeking from under his sleeves. He carried himself like someone who could deadlift a car, but looked weirdly nervous, eyes darting around our apartment. Jamal followed, big and broad with a gentle face and the kind of presence that filled a room even when he said nothing. Eli and Andre came last, chatting quietly until they saw me, then falling silent. Hey, Phil said, voice tight. This is Layla. You guys know why you're here. Yeah, Marcus said. His voice was unexpectedly soft. Hey, Layla. Hi, I said, my palms damp. Thanks for coming. We settled into a circle, me and Phil on the couch, Marcus taking the armchair, the others on cushions or the floor. For a moment, nobody knew what to do with their hands. It was strange, looking at them like this, hoodies, jeans, sneakers. Normal guy uniforms. My brain kept overlaying the other images, lace, silk, limbs intertwined on a cabin sofa. I'm not here to roast you, I said, breaking the silence. Or to, demand that you all burn your lingerie on a ceremonial bonfire. I just feel like I've been dating someone with a second secret family. And you it. I needed to see you as actual people, not just floating torsos in bras on Phil's phone. Andre snorted a laugh. Floating torsos in bras. That's, yeah. Fair? Jamal cleared his throat. You have every right to be mad, he said. If my partner found out about something this big from a group chat, I'd be furious. I'm a lot of things, I admitted. Mad, yeah. Hurt. Curious. Confused. Mostly I just want to understand what this means to you. To all of you. Because right now it feels like there's this secret world, and I'm standing outside pressed against the glass. Eli glanced at Phil, then back at me. Do you want, like, origin story, he asked. Or the emotional TED Talk version? Both, I said. Start wherever makes sense. Marcus blew out a breath. Okay, he said. Origin story it is. He leaned forward, resting his forearms on his thighs. Long version short, he said, most of us met at the gym. We're all big guys. People make assumptions when they see us. Tough. Straight. Emotionally constipated. You know the stereotype. One time somebody asked if we were starting a fight club, Andre muttered. Marcus nodded. Yeah. Meanwhile, inside, each of us was dealing with our own thing. I grew up in a house where crying meant you got yelled at, and anything remotely feminine was off limits. Jamal was juggling church and queerness. Eli was trying to untangle his gender stuff. Phil was, he glanced at Phil, giving him space to define himself. Trying not to think about any of it, Phil said, just lifting heavier and hoping the noise in my head would shut up. We started grabbing coffee after workouts, Marcus continued. Talking. At first it was safe stuff. Then deeper. One night I joked, like, we should rent a cabin and have a feelings retreat. Everyone laughed then, didn't? So we did. The first cabin trip, we barely talked, Jamal said. We played cards, drank, pretended we were there for the lake. But on the second day, Eli came out of the bathroom in this ridiculous floral robe he'd found in the closet. We lost it. It was hilarious. Eli smiled faintly. It was yellow and pink and had shoulder pads, he said. I looked like a grandma who killed people for sport. But then something shifted, Jamal said. Marcus said, you look comfy as hell, man. And I realized. I wanted that too. Not the robe, necessarily. Just the freedom to try something and not have it mean I was broken. Andre chimed in. We ended up raiding the town's thrift store the next trip, he said. It turned into a bit. The iron pack in irons, you know. We bought whatever we wanted. Slips. Nightgowns. Honestly, half of it was ugly as sin. But when we put them on, he shrugged, eyes going distant for a moment, like he was back there. It felt like dropping armor, he said. Like we could finally be soft. Touch without it being weird. When you're a dude, especially a big dude, the only acceptable touches are handshakes and punches. Maybe a hug if someone dies. Or if your team wins the championship, Eli added. Right, Andre said. But we were starving for more than that. For affection. Comfort. So yeah, we cuddle. We nap in piles. Sometimes we kiss. Not always in a sexual way. Sometimes it's just, thanks for holding my shit without judging me. The room went quiet. I felt something loosen in my chest, just a hair. This wasn't the frat boy kink party my fear brain had conjured. It was tender. Almost heartbreakingly so. Why keep it secret from your partners? I asked. If it's so important, why not be honest? Fear, Jamal said simply. Of being misunderstood. Of being called cheaters or freaks. Of losing the one normal thing we had, our relationships, because we admitted we needed this other kind of intimacy too. Phil's voice was small when he said, I didn't want you to look at me and see a stranger. I already do, I said, then winced. Sorry. That was harsher than I meant. No, you're allowed, he said. I earned that. Eli shifted on his cushion. Can I ask you something, Layla, he said. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Sure, I said cautiously. If Phil had told you early on, Eli asked, like, hey, I have this group of guys I go on cabin trips with. We wear lingerie and cuddle and sometimes kiss. But it's more about gender stuff and emotional support than sex. Would you have kept dating him? The honest answer sat in my throat like a stone. I'd grown up with a dad who made snide jokes about men in dresses. My first instinct would probably have been to run. I don't know, I said. Probably not, if I'm being brutally honest. Not because I think it's wrong, but because I wouldn't have understood it. Or him. I would have assumed it meant he didn't really want to be with me. So we were right to be scared, Marcus said softly. Not right to lie. But right to be scared. I exhaled slowly. Yeah, I said. I guess you were. We sat with that for a while. What do you want from us? Andre asked finally. Like, best case scenario for you. What does that look like? I stared at the patterned rug, tracing the lines with my eyes. I began, then stopped, surprised by the heat behind my eyes. I want my boyfriend to feel like he doesn't have to cut himself into pieces to be with me. But I also don't want to be blindsided again. I don't want to be the last to know things about his heart. Phil's eyes filled. I can work on that, he said hoarsely. I'm not asking you to give this up, I said, gesturing to the group. I can see that it lights you up. Softens you. I like you softer. But I need to know what it means for us. Are you emotionally cheating? Are you romantically involved with each other? Should I be thinking of this as poly or some queer platonic cuddle cult, or what? That actually made them laugh. I can't speak for everyone, Jamal said. For me, it's complicated. I'm queer. I'm attracted to men and women. Some of my feelings for these guys are romantic, some platonic. It blurs. But the cabin isn't a place where we are trying to build traditional relationships. It's a pressure release valve. A chosen family. The romance, if there is one, is in being seen. Same, Andre said. I love these dudes. I don't want to marry them. I want to hold them while we cry about our dads. That might be the gayest thing anyone has ever said, Eli muttered. Shut up, Andre said affectionately. Phil looked at me. I love you, he said, voice steady despite the tears on his cheeks. That part is simple. What I get from them doesn't take away from that. It's another dimension. Another room in the house. I should have invited you to look inside sooner. But I didn't know how. So is there a door for me? I asked quietly. Or is this a space that collapses if a girlfriend walks in? They glanced at each other. I think that depends on what you want, Marcus said. This works because we all consent to the rules. No phones outside the chat. No sharing each other's stories without permission. No using the cabin to avoid doing real work in our regular relationships. If you're going to be part of it, we'd need to make new rules. Together. What would being part of it even look like? I asked. I don't exactly have a collection of satin slips. You don't have to dress up, Eli said. Unless you want to. You could just come, Jamal said. To a cabin trip. See what it's like when we are not filtered through a screen. Or maybe we start smaller. A movie night. Game night. Get used to being in the same space without the stakes being fix our entire dynamic forever. And if I say no? I asked. If I say I'm glad this exists for you, but I don't want to be part of it. Then we respect that, Marcus said. And we all have some decisions to make about what we can live with. Phil's hand edged toward mine on the couch cushion. He didn't touch me, just left it there, an invitation. I don't expect you to decide tonight, he said. Or this month. Or maybe even this year. I know I broke something. All I can do is be honest now and let you choose if you still want this version of me. The room blurred for a moment as tears filled my eyes. I blinked them away. I'd cried enough in private this week. Tonight, I wanted my gaze clear. I remember you coming back from your last cabin trip, I said. You were calmer. Softer. It bothered me that you didn't want to talk about it. Now I get why. But I like that version of you. I just didn't know where it came from. He gave me a small, hopeful smile. I don't know if I'm ready to go bra shopping with your friends, I continued. Or to watch you kiss someone else on a cabin sofa. I'm pretty sure I'll have feelings about that. Totally valid, Eli said under his breath. But I also don't want to slam the door shut, I said. On you. Or on this weird, tender thing you've all built. So, I'm willing to try. On my terms. With a therapist. And a lot of conversations. And probably some meltdowns. Phil let out a breath that sounded like it had been lodged in his chest for months. Okay, he said. I can work with that. I took his hand, finally, threading our fingers together. Ground rules, I said. No more secrets. If you're going on a cabin trip, I know when. I know who's there. I know the general vibe. You tell me what you're struggling with emotionally instead of just unloading it all on your girls in the woods. I'm not your enemy. You never were, he said, squeezing my hand. I was just scared. And at some point, I added, glancing around the circle, I want to see at least one photo of all of you in your ridiculous outfits. On purpose this time. With my consent. Andre grinned. Oh, we can definitely arrange that, he said. You have no idea how good Phil looks in emerald green. Everyone laughed. We didn't figure everything out that night. We didn't rewire my childhood beliefs or unlearn Phil's shame in one living room circle. For the first time, the door to that upstairs room in our metaphorical house was open, even just a crack. I could see inside. See my boyfriend, not as two halves, Jim Phil and Secret Saturn Phil, but as one complicated, beautiful whole. Whether I would move into that room, visit occasionally, or decide eventually to walk away and find a different house entirely. I didn't know yet. But I knew this. I was no longer outside, nose pressed to the glass. I was sitting in the circle. Listening. Choosing, actively, whether group truth could become part of my own.